Hey everybody, whoever. I made this, getting pretty quick at it. It's my second one of the same type, identical. And the reason I'm making this video primarily is to point out that here in the plans it says, come on, focus on that, there we go. Director 2 and Director 3 for the 440, 285 and 297. Really? They're supposed to get smaller. 235, 285, then 297. So I swapped these two. And I'm sending this video to the man who designed this to maybe, I don't know, whatever. I've built, like I said, two of these now, and I just switch them so that, anyway. 3/4 inch PVC works great, especially if you put a 3/4 inch dowel on the inside. Okay, I like using these clamps, they work great, although this shows those two are at slightly different angles to each other. That doesn't look quite right, but yeah, so if you look down there you can kind of see, I guess, can you? It's tough, I guess, but yeah, I mean, you know, the directors should progressively get smaller unless the inventor knows something that I don't. So yes, drill a hole in these things that's exactly 1/8. Use 1/8 weld rod. Okay, this side is going to go down, so this hole is bigger than 1/8. Oh, sorry, going to point to it. That hole is bigger than 1/8 because almost all of these elements that are 2 meters are longer than 3 feet, and you get weld rod in 3 feet. So I take these 1/8 inch inside diameter tubes and splice them, use them to splice. And so that's why I say, if this hole is bigger, it's a tight fit, but you can crimp. See how I crimped that right there? This is what you'll solder to on the driven element. You'll solder to the brass, but I also like using the brass. You can kind of see it through that hole. I use the brass to join the two pieces together. Like this is one of those pieces that's 2 meter, so it's bigger all by itself. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's element 6. 6 is 935 millimeters long, which is longer than 3 feet, as I recall. Or maybe it isn't, but you see my point. Definitely for the reflector at the other end, you're not going to get that out of one 3-foot piece. And so you splice them together. You make this hole, which is going to be on the upper side of the antenna, bigger, so that you can kind of poke it through. It takes a little bit of effort. That'll keep it from sliding, and of course there's a little bit of pressure when you clamp it down. And then finally, in order to move on with this video and not make it a big ass long one, is on the other side, since there's a wood dowel in the middle, you can, now I use brass because I happen to have a bunch of brass screws I got cheap, but any old wood screw goes, that's about what, 1.25 inch wood screw goes way down in here. Okay, and then these little clampy things here, hang on, I'm back, these little clampy things here, they need to be held together by something. So I just drill a little hole and make a little stainless steel wood screw fit right in there, and it locks it down pretty nicely. Without that, I think it's a bad idea. These were 70 cents a piece at my local hardware store, so not too bad. I had the screws, I had the weld rod from previous antenna builds, the whole thing. I think it cost me less than 10 bucks for the whole deal. So there you go, I'm done. Oh, why has it got the crook in the end? It's got the crook in the end because the coax has to come off the end of this. Apparently the designer, yeah, I know, you're thinking, I thought you made this video for the designer. Maybe I'll show it to other people. Anyway, the guy who made this antenna, who I'm trying to say that these things may need swapping, he designed it in such a way that you have to, the radiation pattern of this thing doesn't work, wasn't submitted to the program with the coax hanging down next to the driven element or whatever. It just has to come off horizontal, you know, along the boom of the antenna. And so I put these on the back so that I can cut it away a little bit, and if I bring it out with RG8 or LMR or something big, then I can, you know, captivate it inside of there and tape it down. And I usually, turn that over again, I will solder it directly to this. Gosh, I'm talking longer than I wanted to. I'll solder it directly to this where the coax just comes out and connects in as short a little pigtails as I can make, and then epoxy a piece of this is the same material around it to seal any weather from getting in. I would also like to coat these with something so that we don't eventually have corrosion getting inside of here and screwing up virtually all the connections that are connected with the brass, but these most importantly. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. Good day.